Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a Screenwriter's Rant. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check us out on BitChute and Rumble, right Joan? Also, check out the books if you want to support the channel. Wokistan, a novel. Hollywoke, another novel, political satire. And of course, the Pineys, books 1 through 5, horror comedy from South Jersey. Now, Alice Fades Away. I love this title. I love it. And I'm a big title guy. I think if you have a strong title like this, I mean, it just so evocative. Alice Fades Away. Yeah. What is that about? This is Alice here with the gun and the Bible, I guess. This is evil grandfather to her son, her father-in-law, I guess. And this is her son there. And she's escapes a bad situation. This is like, I guess this is like in the 40s, I'm going to guess. So it's a very classic setup. The boy's like, oh, where are we, or when are we going home, Mom? And she's like, this is our home. We're starting over. And this is some kind of psycho the grandfather hires. You get her. You get my grandson back. That's basically the gist of that. And she is determined to live her life. This is the father of her son, and he ends up killing himself. And I think the grandfather probably blames her. First he's looking to kill her, and then he ends up killing himself. Maybe he's mentally ill. This is the 40s, so there's a lot more leeway with characters here. You know, in the 1940s, if you got a character who's mentally ill, you're not going to automatically say, well, why didn't somebody get him help? In the 40s, that you had to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs before they get you any kind of help. And in that case, they just basically lock you up in an asylum, and that would be, the end of it. At least in movie terms. In real life, it's more nuanced than that. It's more complicated. Women weren't completely helpless. If you had mental issues, you weren't totally abandoned, but, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It was still harder. So, I like the period car there. It's really nice. Anyhow, Alice eventually runs away to some kind of farm. The grandfather's like, oh, track her down. And the bad guy's like, oh, I'm going to track her down. And then, the farmers, they don't understand what's happening. And she's like, oh, people are getting hurt because of me. And she's crying about it. And, the bad guy does all sorts of horrible things. Here he is being bad. And I think that's from the final confrontation. Alice is like, I should leave, and then she ends up confronting the guy at the end. So you can see pretty much the whole movie here. But I mean, you knew that was going to take place anyway. And this shot, I really like. I mean, this is like very surreal. This is part of Alice Fades Away. Like, it goes along with that title. Because you can see the stark white setting, I'm not sure how they got this effect, but it's really cool, like how they got the outsides. I wonder if they did something to the windows. But it's just, it puts Alice in this surreal position as if she's being suffocated by the rest of the world around her. So I like the symbolism in this movie, even just in the trailer. I mean, I think there's a lot here to unpack, and it's very classic because it does take place in the 40s. It puts her as a female protagonist, a slightly at worse conditions, because she is divorced, and that's a time when divorce is it's looked down, or she's widowed. Widowed didn't look as bad, but still, the grandfather's after her, and at that time you had money, you could pretty much do what you want. Pretty much. Not totally, but you can get away with quite a bit. A lot more than you can now. And so I like this whole setup. So the first act would be something like, Alice and her husband, and they're not getting along. Maybe he's mentally ill, maybe he's an addict. That's a classic sort of things that would happen in the 40s or in that movie time period. And ends with his suicide. The grandfather can never forgive her, blames her, wants his grandson back. She escapes, goes out to the country, tries to hide. Eventually, this maniac tracks her down that the grandfather hires. And then in Act 2, he tracks her down and slowly starts trying to get at her, but knows he can't just go right in and take her out. He's slowly maybe getting at the people around her. And then finally, it culminates in the third act. They're just outright fighting the guy for survival, and culminating in the confrontation at the car with her having the gun, where I think she shoots at him and like misses and like hits him in the side of the head, and then he gets at her, and then there's probably some final confrontation where and these movies tend to end very dramatically and sadly, right? So it could be the kind of thing where she sacrifices herself to save her son, or, she dies, but in the end she wins because her son, grows up fine or whatever. But it's hard to say. Hard to say watching the trailer. But I do like the trailer a lot. I think it's put together well. And I'll just end on this. I like this too. I mean, that just sums it all up. Alice Fades Away. That's cool. It's a cool logo. I mean, for a period drama piece, written and directed by Ryan Bliss, I mean, this is put together well. So, and again, it's not my type of movie. You know me. I like zombies and robots and that kind of crap. This, though, it appeals to me. The whole look and the symbolism appeals to me. So, Alice Fades Away. I'm not sure when it's coming out. They didn't say here on the trailer. I'm going to give you an upvote for style, purely on the style. So check it out if you're looking for a period drama.